Hello,
Welcome.
welcome to the Combat Corner tier list.
Tier list.
Tier list.
My
Tier
name's
list
Kobe.
video. His name's Kobe, my name's Jackson. Today, we are putting into a Sabka tier
Sab
MMA styles.
MMA stars. So bases that I don't know half of these ones, but we're gonna have to just kind of
We're going to figure it out as
figure
we
it out
go.
as we go. We're gonna start off with boxing.
I think we should put ourselves into the S
Oh,
tier
yeah,
for
so-
a start. Combat Corner is the best tier. Goodness, this is some amateur level shit going on right now.
When are we not amateur? That's our whole thing, isn't it?
Boxing.
Boxing.
Okay, we've got a few boxing heavy fighters now. In
Dustin Poirier,
got Dustin Poirier.
Conor McGregor,
Yep, most of the heavyweights.
most of the heavyweights.
We've had Jose Aldo come back from boxing
Jose
in
Waldo.
recent times. Nate Diaz like to
Nathan.
employ some boxing. I think it's a fairly good base for MMA. We have seen these guys struggle to get to the top level and stay in terms of championship and stay there. I think it is a little bit one-dimensional in terms of
You need other stuff
You
with
do.
boxing, but if you're really good at boxing,
Well,
it
the
can be a
thing,
really
the thing
good
with,
part.
with the thing with boxers in today's world of MMA is you can really
kick.
expose them with leg kicks, yeah, and wrestling. But I think in terms of what are we rating this on? An entertainment kind of scale
this
or
is
effectiveness?
winnability, right? Effectiveness. And I want to put boxing in A because
In
I
A.
think when you've got really good hands, as long as you've got decent everything else, you can really, really cause a lot of issues.
Mhm.
If you've got great takedown defense in your hands, like look at Conor McGregor, for example.
Yep.
Look at Dustin Poirier. Look at Justin Gaethje. Look at Max Holloway. These guys are all great boxers, and they've gotten to the very, very top of MMA. They've also had some great takedown defense, some great leg checks, leg kicks, but their boxing is their main thing.
Yep.
So I think A is a really
I agree.
potent one. Don't know what that means. We've got next up, point fighting, karate.
Is that karate?
Yes, that's karate, and then that one's something else.
Taekwondo, maybe.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure.
Karate. We've got the likes of Wonder Boy.
Yep.
I believe Michael Venom Page was a point fighting karate fighter, or maybe he was Taekwondo. He is. I'm not sure.
Either way, we've got
got
like
some
you
pretty
say,
top
Wonder
guys
Boy,
here.
which is enough to talk about in of itself and of himself. we
I
can
think
say.
when you've got a great base again, and you've got amazing karate. Well, I mean, Wonder Boy's pretty one-dimensional, to be fair.
Very one-dimensional, and he's been exposed on multiple occasions.
He has.
He's got to fight for the championship. Is it 2 or 3 times?
Twice.
Twice, both against Tyron Woodley, who is a wrestling heavy guy with heavy hands. Let's say that.
That's what he
And
is.
both
yeah.
times he just dragged Wonder Boy to the ground and won the fight via that. And that has been what we've seen other people do to Wonder Boy in the more recent times of his career. He gets dragged to the ground and he gets tired, and then his karate means jack shit. And it's like, I'm not saying that he's not a great fighter. I'm not saying that he's not a legend. But in terms of karate being your base and being your main style, it's not enough.
It's, again, if you're really, really good at it, you can have some great flashy highlight reel wins. But
also
when it comes
having
to
such a
championship
wide
level of
stance.
fighting, again, leg kicks, takedowns, you can easily pick that leg.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Even sweeps.
I don't know. There's a few top karate guys, definitely not A tier or S tier. I'm struggling to think whether this is going to go in B or C tier.
I think it goes in C. I'm sorry,
Okay.
but
Okay.
there's not many others on this list that I think are. Yeah, let's go through the list, and we might end up moving it. I think at the
Should we go
moment
to
it goes
a,
at the very top
a
of
grappling
C.
art?
Yeah, what grappling art is this?
Judo.
Judo. Ronda Rousey, obviously,
Ronda
is the first
Rousey.
person that comes to mind.
Kayla Harrison.
Kayla Harrison.
Khabib is a black belt in judo. Islam Makhachev, their sambo base is very judo influenced.
Mm.
I really think that judo is a great base for MMA. But if you've only got judo, you can become very, very one-dimensional.
This conversation
Ronda
keeps
Rousey.
happening with every single style we've talked about so far.
It does.
If it's all you've got, you're one
Look at
dimensional.
Ronda
Well,
Rousey.
no shit,
Look,
yeah.
no, I've
Yeah.
got a thing here. Look at Ronda Rousey. everyone thought she had good hands for some reason, but she didn't. And that got exposed. And when people just decided, look, I'm not going to clinch with her, I'm not going to let her get close, she got exposed. And that's kind of what I'm trying to get at here is if you can't get into a clinch, if you're a judo specialist and you can't get a trip or a throw, it's pretty pointless. It's not like wrestling where you can use it to chain together takedowns against the fence. Judo, you really kind of need to be out in the open. I think it's a. Oh, I'm struggling here, Jackson.
I think an A tier. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm thinking A tier.
I'm looking at Khabib, and he does have the all-rounded skill set. He's got the wrestling as well. Looking at Islam,
and the other thing, when you
Kyle
are a
Parisian.
threat, when you are a threat in terms of judo, it doesn't matter where you are in the cage. You're able to defend takedowns. You don't have to move your way over to the fence.
You got some submissions as well.
You've got some submissions, and you've got a way of finding those submissions fairly quickly. Like it's quite a speedy sport in the way of like you flip them, you trip them, you sweep them, whatever. As soon as you get them to the ground, you're looking for something. I mean, which is why Islam had no trouble finishing Charles Oliveira. You know, Oliveira has been knocked down or taken down plenty of times, but it's
Islam
the fact that he can lie on his back and recover, whereas Islam didn't give him a chance. He just jumped straight on it, locked in that head triangle, and then it was it, lights out. So I think it's one of the better classes. I'm not going to say it's an S tier, just because, like you say, a lot of these people just rely on that and they don't have great hands.
Getting exposed.
Even Khabib didn't have great hands.
No, he had the ultimate equalizer of the wrestling and the judo, though. You know, he's just that. Yeah, but he dropped Connor. Should we move into another one?
Yeah,
this one.
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai is next up on the list. Look, Muay Thai has got to be.
Is it Muay Thai or is it just kickboxing?
We'll
go 1 second from the.
Oh
from the right.
Kickboxing.
I
actually think that one's kickboxing and this one. We'll do this one's Thai and then the other one. They're very similar. Muay Thai.
I think
the art of 8 limbs.
Yeah, I think this is a great tool for MMA because you see a lot of these guys, especially when you're just fighting Muay Thai, it's all about pressure. So it's all about staying on your opponent and not slowing down. And high guard, striking as much as you can. Like that's what it's all about. I like the judging in Muay Thai because it's more damage based. It's more aggression based. It's not. I guess there's not as many things to judge it on as there are in MMA, but I like the moving forward aspect of the sport. I think that the guys that do it well in MMA do extremely well at a high level.
Jose Aldo.
Yep.
Khalil Roundtree.
Because they can just continuously pressure their opponent.
I think this one's got to go in S tier.
Yeah.
Look, it brings checking kicks into the mix. It brings knees into the mix. It brings elbows into the mix. They have good boxing as well, often, the Thai guys, especially modern Thais.
If you are
toughness,
an older guy who relies on their Muay Thai, though, it does bring into question your chin pretty quickly because you're moving forward a lot. And because you do find yourself susceptible to getting struck a lot more than the average Joe, you can be,
especially with the small gloves.
Yeah, you can be put out. What's this?
Taekwondo. Similar to karate, very similar to karate in the way that different martial arts, but very similar in the way that they're adapted to MMA. That you can't just rely on one of these striking arts anymore. If you're really, really good at it, you need really good takedown defense. You need good boxing.
Mm-hmm.
You need very good head movement, ability to not get hit. Clinching ability.
The other thing
it just doesn't contain any of those things
because these sports aren't traditionally done in a ring or in like an octagon or something like that.
Octagon promotion.
Yeah, it does bring your distance management into play as well, which I think is the most important thing for a good kickboxer / Muay Thai specialist / karate guy / Taekwondo. Like any of those arts, your main tool is going to be your distance management because if you're up against a wrestler or if you're up against a judo specialist, whatever it is, maybe even a BJJ black belt or something like that, you want to stay away from them. You want to be moving in and out. Whereas, I think coming from one of these sports where it is point based and you don't have that same I don't know. Maybe you do. It just in my eyes,
It's not the same.
it's not the same. No, and
I think it belongs down here with karate. It's a great one to have if you're really good at it and you can adapt it to MMA. Then great, but it's just not a fundamental part. Moving on. Not much can be really said about this one. A lot
Wrestling.
can be said about it. I think it's got to go in S tier straight off the bat,
yeah,
and it's got to go to the top of S tier.
it has proved time and time again that it is the best base for MMA.
If you can decide where the fight's going to go, if you want to take the person down, and you can, if you want to keep it standing with takedown defense, and you can, that's what wrestling does. And it also gives you the ability to just hold people, pin them, neutralize their jiu-jitsu.
And the rule set in MMA is so
very
wrestling leaning. It kind of pisses me off. Like we've spoken about so many times. These guys come in there, they get a little bit of a sniff, they sniff your crotch a little bit, and then next thing you know, they've got a knee on the ground and you can't strike their head.
Knee them.
Yeah.
It is annoying. It's been really frustrating in recent times. It's been brought to light as well a little bit. But the rule set just favors them. It does. But on a level, it is just, it's just the best base. A kid who's learned wrestling since day dot, like a Bo Nickel, they just transition so well into MMA. It doesn't take as long to get decent at striking as it does to get decent at something like wrestling.
And I find they normally have a much greater gas tank.
Yeah, and to just go.
Yeah, if you're holding onto someone like with all your might for 3 rounds, that takes a lot more energy than kind of bouncing back and forth, keeping your hands up, and striking with someone, because you're constantly tensing those muscles and trying to just clinch them.
And they've been doing that since they're a little kid. Most times
it's a lot of muscle density, which is why you see like these guys who are like, what's his name? He's in Bellator now. Absolutely, Yoel Romero. He was an Olympic wrestler.
That guy's fucking,
and he is so dense.
Yeah,
like his muscle is incredible. So yeah, I think I agree. Top of S tier. There's no other place for it.
I want to chuck this one in the mix. Kickboxing. Relatively similar to Muay Thai without the knees and elbows, I believe.
Some kickboxing organizations allow knees, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe not elbows.
Maybe not elbows. But this is the likes of Israel Adesanya came from kickboxing. The likes of Alex Pereira came from kickboxing. So it's proving to be a very good base. But again, these guys have very good takedown defense, especially Israel Adesanya.
We haven't seen Pereira go up against someone who's wrestling.
No, and when he has, like with Jan, he did get taken down and have his back taken.
Yeah. That, Izzy got taken down by Jan a few times.
And he got controlled on the ground.
And that was the only time up until that point that we'd seen him be taken down in the UFC, at least, I believe.
Jan is a good wrestler. I think kickboxing has to go probably at the top of A tier. I don't rate it quite as much as Muay Thai, because Muay Thai just gives you that extra toughness, grittiness, better boxing usually in Muay Thai. Kicks. The kicks in Muay Thai are just devastating for MMA, the leg kicks. I just don't think it's quite there, but it's very close.
Okay. We have seen some of the greatest fighters of all time come from kickboxing.
But it's some of them. There's only a couple, and usually they're really, really good. But you see everyone's got amazing Muay Thai.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone. And I think people they fall to Muay Thai more because it just teaches you everything, whereas kickboxing leaves out a few little bits and bobs that you do need.
Yep.
Do you agree?
Sure. What else have we got here? We've got... No, I think that's...
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's...
We'll do one more.
BJJ.
The others are a bit weird, so...
Yeah, I don't know. One of them looks like a prison yard.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Prison base.
I think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu... I'm probably biased because I trained Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think it's A tier because it gives you a very, very good opportunity to finish a fight.
Yeah.
Most of these other ones, a lot of these other ones don't. They, like wrestling, for example, doesn't really help you finish the fight. Muay Thai definitely does. Boxing does. Kickboxing does. Judo, not so much. I think Jiu-Jitsu's got to go in A tier.
Yeah, I think A tier, not...
the end of A tier.
That's an S tier, so we'll put that down to where it belongs. No. Muay Thai is above BJJ.
Muay Thai's here.
Oh, sorry. Kickboxing, I believe, is above BJJ.
I don't believe so.
No,
No, I don't think
I
so.
don't even put judo above BJJ.
I don't think so either. I reckon
Of course you don't.
jiu-jitsu, a base of wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and Muay Thai is the perfect base together. In
But
a
yeah,
combination.
we're talking about one. We're
No,
talking about
the
BJJ.
styles in general.
Yeah, okay.
Look at the likes of Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, there's one.
That's his main part. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of guys.
What else you got?
Damien Meyer.
Okay.
Yeah, let me have a look.
You want to talk about, yeah, look, here's the thing. We've seen it so many other times. If you're a BJJ specialist and you can't get someone to the ground, it's all over. As soon as you've got someone who can't manage distance, it's all over. As soon as you've got someone who is a decent kickboxer who can manage the distance, it's all over.
It's tough. You need to be able to take people
Hooker
down.
versus that guy. Who was that? Puella?
Oh, yeah.
The Peugeot, whatever. Yeah. The
jiu-jitsu people do tend to be kind of pussies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, guys.
I'm happy with that.
I'm happy with that.
Righto.
Do you think? What do you guys think?
As long as you're happy.
Leave it in the comment. I want to know. I think jiu-jitsu, if used right, is probably one of the most important aspects of MMA.
Oh, definitely.
If used in the likes of, a Charles Oliveira, Khabib Nurmagomedov.
But even Charles has extremely high-level Muay Thai.
He does. And his boxing is crisp. But I think that's our list.
Great.
Look, guys, thank you very much for watching. Let us know if you agree with my list.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see you next week for another tier list. Otherwise, we put out 2 podcasts a week on a Tuesday and a Thursday. And if you don't feel like watching the whole podcast, we do kind of chop it up into segments for you as well. But otherwise, yeah, like Kobe said, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.